In this video, I'm going to cover the best sales funnel to get clients for your agency in 2024. I'm going to cover every single step that you need to know, and I'm going to show you how to build it as well. So this is also going to explain why you can't stand out from other agencies that aren't as good as you. Number two, why it's become harder and harder to get your most ideal clients to sign up with you. And number three, why most of the lead generation tactics that you see on the internet are simply garbage. Like a lot of the stuff that you would have tried to do to get clients in the past has just kind of slowly become less and less effective. We're going to cover all of that in this video. And the reason this is important is because you absolutely must avoid, number one, working with terrible clients who hassle you and your team and make you go far outside of scope and hate your business. Number two, constantly being on the back foot and spending hours and hours of your days reactively, quote unquote, putting out fires, working harder than ever and making no extra money. That is a pain in the ass. And number three, waiting for someone to tell you how to magically grow your business or magically grow your business for you, whether it be, relying on referrals or trying to hire some sort of lead generation agency or whatever of these things the people are saying that you should do. That never works, basically. So even if you deliver great services, even if you already generate leads, and even if you already know a lot about lead generation and sales, there's no question that in 2024, it's become harder and more expensive to get clients than ever before. So you get in this hamster wheel where your clients keep demanding more and more from you. You're stuck kind of handling client fulfillment. You're in that process and your days just look like a dumpster fire of endless tasks. The result here is that you not only don't have time to grow your business, but even if you do get a bit of time, getting clients is still just hard because it's become more and more difficult. The reason for this is just because these days the entire market has much lower trust. People have been burned before by agencies and gurus, competition is higher, and information is everywhere, and it's kind of just hard to tell who you should listen to. How do I know this? This video is pretty much based on insights gathered between myself and my business partner, Matt, from over 2,300 high-ticket clients, 3 agency exits, one of those being for 8 figures. That's obviously his exit, as he would have described in this video here if you haven't already seen it. And as well as this process hasn't just worked for us, it's also worked for 200 plus business owners and helped them get these results. And I'll just flash them up on screen and do a quick scroll. You can go to this website if you like and check them out. But nonetheless, naturally, when you're trying to sell stuff over the internet, a lack of trust becomes a massive problem. A few years ago, you would run ads to a simple landing page and sell services for thousands of dollars over the phone. But if you compare that to now, most people only make purchases after basically months and months of researching and rapport building. And if you think about it, you only buy stuff from people you know, like, and trust. It's pretty simple. If no one knows who you are and no one knows what you sell, they're basically never going to buy from you. And because of the lack of trust in the market, that process of getting people to know, like, and trust you has become much slower and much longer. So not only do people buy less frequently, they're also taking longer to do so. And within that problem, there becomes a solution. So if we want to sign clients, we need to accelerate the process by which prospects know us, like us, and trust us enough to buy our services. And not just any prospects, but the ones you actually want to work with, the ones who get the best results and run great companies. So if you imagine your favorite client, if you had 10 more of those instead of 10 more of your least favorite client, it's a vastly different ballgame. So it's not about just generating leads, it's about generating the right leads. And again, even if you think about, when was the last time you bought a high-ticket service from someone? You might have seen an ad or piece of content, followed them for a while, joined their newsletter, and then eventually bought their service. But then for some reason, we don't expect that from our own services. So what makes you think prospects that you want to buy from you, will buy from you if all you do is try to get leads from one traffic source and then just try and sell them your recurring service? It doesn't actually make sense. So when you think about it, imagine someone sends you a piece of content and then you never see them again. How likely are you to buy from that person? They look the same as everyone else. You don't believe their claims and you probably just ghost them. And you can compare that to, imagine if they sent you a cold outreach message, then they clicked around, you see their YouTube channel, you read their newsletter a little bit, you read their lead magnets. Again, it's a vastly different game. So why would it be any different when you reach out to prospects to get them to buy from you? And sadly enough, this is pretty much what the situation looks like for most agencies. They have an offer, they have a funnel, very similar to this, where they're just kind of hoping and sending it to a recurring service. This is the referrals approach. They have content, they might have a Twitter account and then send that all to a recurring service and expect to get clients, or an ad funnel and then straight to a recurring service and expect to get clients, or the worst one is spamming out thousands of cold emails and then expecting to get clients. It just doesn't work. You look the same as everyone else, no one believes your claims, and you get ghosted quite frequently. Here's a description of the average agency. Number one, nothing unique about your offer. All your competitors do the same thing for the same price with just as good results. Number two, probably most of your clients come from referrals. It's a good sign, but it's also out of our control and we can't scale predictably using that model. Number 3, little to no content. So you probably don't have that much LinkedIn stuff, no LinkedIn posts, no YouTube presence. Your newsletter might be sent out once per month or once per quarter, if at all. Number 4 is that you probably can't get cold email to work, not getting any positive replies or meetings, or not doing cold email altogether. Number 5, can't get ads to work, so not getting any meetings, or all of the meetings are with garbage leads, or not doing ads altogether because it became too expensive. Number 6, nothing to offer unqualified leads, which are 99% of the market. So the only offer you have is your main recurring service. And if someone can't afford that, then there's nothing else for them to buy. Number 7, no systematic way to hire and train employees. So hard time hiring and then basically getting enough value out of their employees to justify the expense. Too much time spent babysitting and fixing mistakes that could be used to grow the business. This means you never get a chance to master any of the important money-making stuff because you're so caught up in the regular day-to-day of the stuff. Number 8, you don't even know your exact net margin because of a lack of a financial system. So you probably spend a lot more than you think, and you usually make a bit less than you think, or a lot less than you think, because you have no way of knowing, and you don't really track it in real time. That hurts your ability to get clients because you don't even know where you're starting. You don't know what you can spend because you just don't have any clarity whatsoever. Number 9, operations are a mess and you have a bit of a fear of growth. So you don't have a system, a plan, SOPs, training, and no way to put it all together and get a consistent result for clients every single month. That really hurts you. It makes you anxious to sign clients. You don't even want to onboard people, and that subconsciously holds you back. Then number 10, don't know any important metrics or track any important metrics. So what's your day-to-day, what's your 180-day LTV? What's your CAC? What's your LTV to CAC ratio? What's your close rate? How many meetings do you schedule? The answer is usually, I have no idea. And because you have no idea, you kind of can't really control it. So the truth is, if you want to solve all these problems and generate and convert leads at scale without losing money on ad spend or being forced into closing basically nightmare clients that make you hate your business, you need to build a holistic marketing funnel. And what you're going to see here is a pretty holistic breakdown of paid ads, content, outreach, partnerships, lead magnets, thank you page, email flows, webinar, VSL, live workshop, newsletter, community, appointment setter, content. That's your conversion mechanism. And then all of your bottom of funnel stuff down there at the bottom. And you might look at that and think, holy shit, that's a lot of stuff. But even if you have 75% of this in place, you end up with more leads than you know what to do with. And that's based on helping 200 plus business owners install this system. After they have it about 3/4 of the way built, that's when they start saying, holy shit, I've got leads. Like, this is working. And what that means is they stop worrying about where their next deal's coming from because they start having to have a wait list because they onboard too many clients. They know exactly what they need to focus on every single day to grow their business. They can stop taking on those headache clients that make them hate their business. And they start making enough money to afford A+ talent that can help them scale. And they can essentially just turn on that tap of leads whenever they want. Unfortunately, that's become kind of a buzzword to turn on the tap of predictable lead flow, and it sounds like something that's not possible, but that is truly the reality when you have all of these things working. The flowchart, like I said, looks quite busy, but when you break it down, it's really getting eyeballs. So that's paid ads, content, outreach, and partnerships. Then it's converting those eyeballs and nurturing those eyeballs with lead magnets, VSLs, workshops, webinars, newsletters, communities, content, appointment setters, email flows, and your thank you page. And then also having all of your offers dialed in, which includes digital products, affiliate revenue, course and program, intro offer, and recurring service. When you have these things in place, it's pretty much like your idle customers can't get you out of their heads. You're pretty much everywhere, continually giving value, insights, and most importantly, building trust. Because the biggest problem we're trying to solve here is breaking people down and accelerating that process of building trust so that when they eventually need someone who does your service, they already trust you, they already have a pain point, they already know you're the expert, and they go to you for help. This is pretty much the exact thing that helps Max double his revenue in 79 days, Angus 10x his revenue in 6 months, and Brandon on his path to 1 mil a month. And you can see that here. So if you're thinking, why would I need that stuff? Why should I do it? You want to think of it like a car. If you have an engine, a steering wheel, and some seats, but you don't have any tires, you aren't going to get very far at all. And it's the exact same with the funnel. For it to work optimally, you need every piece. You can't just run ads to a paid, you can't just run paid ads to a recurring service or send a few cold emails because it's not 2019. The only problem here is that when you look at that, you probably understand, yeah, I know I have to do paid ads, I know I have to do outreach, I know I have to do content, I understand these things, but if you're running a business, you're probably quite busy. You probably have to manage fulfillment, team, a bunch of other stuff. It's not as if you just sit around all day on your ass waiting for stuff to happen. So here are the steps that you have to follow to actually get it done. Number 1 is going to be routine planning and time management. There's absolutely no way you're going to get all this done without proper planning and proper time management. What most people say is they say, yeah, I need to do those 137 tasks, and then they get overwhelmed by it. The best way to solve this problem is to chunk it down into a few key tasks per day and focus on building it over time. So it's actually the same way you eat an elephant, not beat an elephant, and that's one bite at a time. So with the right planning, you can get more done in the time you do have, and you also know for sure that you're moving the needle in the right direction. The caveat here is that you have to make sure you're planning the right stuff at the right time, specific to your business, or you can waste months of focus and resources. A lot of gurus on the internet telling you to do X, Y, and Z. You need to be able to focus on the right stuff at the right time. Again, specific to your business, because it's not as if you have a cookie cutter business. Every business is different. Even if you offer the same service in the same industry, there's always different strengths, different weaknesses, etc. Number 2 is offers. So next, you have to make sure your offer suite is A1. The worst thing you can do is send a bunch of traffic to an unoptimized offer and waste it, or worse, generate a bunch of leads that you can't monetize and then basically quit and lose money because you say, all those leads were unqualified, didn't have anything to sell them, we made no money. The best practice that we found is using an intro offer to get in the door and then focus on upselling the client to a recurring service afterwards. The reason this is so damn effective is because number 1, it reduces risk on both sides. So the client gets to test you out, and you can avoid signing those bad clients for multiple month deals because you get in the door, you test each other out, then you can upsell if it makes sense. Next, you can put a great guarantee on an intro offer without having to risk refunding large amounts of money. So you focus on a specific area of the client's business and help them get a result very, very quickly, which makes them love you so you can upsell them. This results in getting more leads, high close rate, and a much easier sales process to your recurring offer. So if you're trying to sell your recurring offer to cold leads, it's very, very difficult to get someone to sign up because it's such a big commitment. But if you have a guarantee that reduces and reverses the risk with your intro offer, it's much easier to get people to say yes, and then you can sell that recurring offer to a larger pool of people. Because basically you get so many clients with the intro offer, you sell it to such a big customer base of people that already trust you. So it expands your service area. And then basically the problem we're solving here is that when you're pushing traffic to a recurring service, your close rate is so low that you're spamming people with an offer that they don't even want. So they don't want to buy that. People don't sign up to give thousands of dollars per month to a stranger. You get your foot in the door with as many people as possible, show them how good you are, then upsell. Otherwise, you're basically talking to a brick wall. You want to think about how big of a process is it for a company to go and hire an employee for $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month. They, number 1, have to decide that they're ready to hire to go ahead and do that. Number 2, they go through multiple interviews, and they basically take a bunch of time and pick the absolute perfect fit. So if you're an agency that's charging that amount of money up front, they didn't ask to hire anyone. They're not looking for an agency. How are you going to get them in? You need to give them an intro offer, get them into your ecosystem, then you can sell them the right thing when it makes sense. Because they already trust you, they already know you're really good, and they view you as much more of an expert compared to if you just were a random reaching out. So the intro offer gives you that sexy thing to get in the door. Next, you have your funnel. So once you have your planning and office intact, it is time to flood that thing. So, like I mentioned before, this is pretty much the most comprehensive marketing funnel that exists. And once you have every piece here, you never worry about client acquisition ever again. And the best part is, after you build it, all you have to do is tweak it and improve it over time and keep it running. So it's the classic analogy of it's harder to get in the air than to keep it there. So you want to master getting eyeballs. So you need to master paid ads, content, outreach, and partnerships. And then you want to automate the process of nurturing those eyeballs using conversion mechanisms, which is VSLs, webinars, workshops, newsletters, appointment setters, and more content. And that is when you are making it rain. You are literally making it rain. You're getting so much traffic from up here, and then you are using these things and improving them over time as a system to nurture those eyeballs towards your offers. And like I said before, your offers are ideally optimized at this point, and you're making it rain. So my question would be, do you think you have enough time and energy to figure all this stuff out on your own? Most people would say no. Like I mentioned before, it's not like you're just sitting on your ass all day. Like, it's not typically what people do. So mastering paid ads, outreach, content, lead magnets, conversion mechanisms, offers, planning, and everything else you need to implement is usually a pretty big task, which is actually why we created 1000X Leads. This is where you get, this is where we're going to get to the part where I tell you about the thing I'm selling. So if you don't want this, you don't want this problem solved, and you just click on the video. If you do want this solved and you think it's better to just copy and paste the systems, SOPs, frameworks, templates, etc., that we have used to scale over 200 agencies, including Matt's agency, to over 900K a month, then you should stay and you might love this. So in 1000X Leads, here's what you get. Number 1, creating your offer. So this is what we did with Colin. Signed 7 intro offers. Mohammed signed a 3-month project for 12.5K. Nazar closing 3K deal. Colin closing 3 done for you clients in the past 2 days. Angus closed 15K of setups in the last 24 hours. Thor 2X recurring and 1 one-time client today. Ben 6 appointments, 5 out of 6 closed for 14K, 4K recurring plus 10K one-off. And Mateo closed 5K MRR and another 7K in setups in the last couple of weeks. So with your offer, we're going to show you exactly how to create this. We're going to do it one-to-one with you. I'm going to give you an intro offer. We're going to give you your recurring offer. I'm going to show you exactly how to position these to not only get a maximum amount of intro offers, but also upsell the maximum amount of those to your recurring offer. And this is the biggest lever in the entire business. As soon as you get this done, like I mentioned, close rate goes up, you get more leads, more people love you, and you can focus on upselling them to the recurring service. Next, you're going to get an exact plan. So you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars in time and money following the exact plan as opposed to figuring it out on your own. This is just an objective truth. We are going to help you build this in roughly 120 hours, whereas for most people, probably take 1,500 to 2,000 hours in trial and error to figure it out. Ads, cold email, content, partnerships, email flows, lead magnets, and more. And the plan is literally an exact day-by-day plan of what to do every day for 120 days. So that basically includes relevant content linked in each card. So for example, when it's time to run paid ads guides will be linked in the card, so you know exactly what to do and how to do it at each step. It's basically like having Google Maps show you where to go and then having the key to unlock the skill when you need to figure out how to get there. So like you can see here, day 1 to 120, and you have different areas of mastery there. So basically when you have this, it becomes what Michael says is efficient as fuck. So he says he's done more work in 3 days than he did the past 45 days working on the business using the daily frameworks. Mateo says the work form 5x a day is revolutionary. Accountability is crazy. Connor Sutherland says this shit is so fire, going to sprint through this funnel setup. Really easy. So takes that massive thing and makes it seem very doable because it chunks it down. Next is you get real-time feedback. So real-time one-to-one feedback, you're going to get real-time one-to-one feedback from someone who's had an 8-figure agency exit before, and things like ads, content, cold email, lead magnets, newsletters, email flows, etc., and more, all working at the same time. This is not a low-level employee. Matt and I are literally in Slack answering questions every single day, which is why our clients dominate. So an example of the value here is that, let's say you spend $36K on ads per year at a $5 cost per lead, which would be 7,300 total leads, and Matt can help you bring that to a $3 cost per lead. You would only need to pay $21,000 for the same number of leads, which means that feedback could be worth $14,000, and it doesn't even take into account the feedback of the 26 other parts of the funnel. This is what Jack used to book 94 calls in a little over a month at around 2K ad spend. It's what Paul's using to dial in lead gen. He's getting a $1.33 cost per lead, which is not too bad. Next, you basically get frameworks, templates, assets, and swipe files for everything that you need in the funnel. So this is what I said, where you're basically unlocking everything with the skill-wise. So paid ads, written content, YouTube videos, short form, cold emails, partnership pitches and presentations, lead magnets, opt-in pages, thank you pages, email flows, paid products, VSLs, webinars, live workshops, communities, appointment setting, CRM, follow-up, sales letters, value stacks, case studies, testimonials, offers, and much more. So you're going to be able to do a lot of the stuff that you could have had to hire someone to do. So most of the time, what our clients do is just do it themselves rather than pay thousands of dollars to an expert, quote unquote, to do it for them, because a lot of times you have a lot of success with things that you didn't have success with before when you learn how to do them the right way by someone who actually does the stuff. So for example, if our cold email frameworks actually work when yours didn't, or when your lead generation agencies didn't, and you get one client per month at 3K each, that is 36K per year. And apply that same math to our ads, that is another 36K minus 1,000 CPA per client for a total of 24K in profit. Then, if you had to pay $50 for a thumbnail and post 3 times per week, that's another $7,800 per year in savings. That's not including any of our other templates, assets, and frameworks. This is what Angus used, basically 3.5K retainer from cold email. Colin, again, 7 intro offers in the last couple of weeks. Taryn signed 5 new clients for the month, only 6 days in, thanks to the partnership model. Brandon is hitting 600K months at 50% cash collected in 4 months. Federico closing 8K paid in fulls from partnerships. Jeremy added 40K MRR from starting just with some lead magnets and better positioning. So it's really easy tweaks here. Max doubled his revenue since joining. And Felix closed 2 clients from the free trial over the weekend. So it's just little tweaks here that you can make to things that you already should be doing, like content outreach, paid ads, lead magnets, etc. That can make all the difference. So when you actually make these things work, it's different. So it's not as if one of those things where, you need something fantastical. And a lot of the time it's just a little tweak that you have to make and do things actually properly to a high level that makes them work so well. So what you also get is 3x live calls per week. You get accountability, community with 200 plus agency owners doing a combined 265 million per year, access to our in-house training for the 6 employee roles you need to operate the funnel, an employee training system, planning system, operations system, financial system, access to our vetted freelancers, and basically everything you would ever need to get this to work. So if you're wondering whether it's a fit or not, basically what you should do is book a call and we can tell you. One of the hardest things to basically decipher whether information on the internet is actually applicable to your situation, as well as how much or how little. for example, some people are just not in a position to scale this way for whatever reason. And that's true. Sometimes you're not meant to do this. So if you want to figure out whether this is a fit for you, just book a call on my calendar. I don't usually do this, but I want to vet everyone before they join. Just make sure they're a fit and you'll get results easily because, like I mentioned, we work very closely one-to-one with everyone that joins. So if you're not a fit, it's going to be way too much of a pain in the ass for us to work with you. So just book a call and we'll be able to tell you really easy. So most of the time, when you give some details about your business, niche, and offer, it's pretty easy for us to determine what you should do. Just because we've worked with so many businesses at this point. And yeah, that can be accomplished on a really short call. So just book a call and I'll talk to you there, tell you if it's fit. If you have some questions, I'll cover some frequently asked questions here. So why not just do it yourself? As in, why not just do it alone and try and go and figure out how to do it? So it is possible to do this just by following Matt and I's YouTube videos, but to be quite honest, it takes years of trial and error, refinement, and probably costs you tens of thousands of dollars. And why would you want to do that instead of just doing it in 4 months for a fraction of the price? If you're going to do it, pretty much be illogical to take 10x as long and cost 10x as much. That sounds like it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you know, don't do it alone. It's going to cost you so much money to do it that way. But it kind of just is logically true because what we charge is an absolute fraction of what it. We charge way too low. I try and get Matt to make us raise it, but he says no. We need to do it for the streets. The streets need this, so we keep charging the prices that we do. Next is why not hire someone to do it for you? So to build this out, basically it's going to take time, expertise, and really high standards. So there's almost no situation where you can hire someone that has all three of those. Like for example, if you get a copywriter who's really good at copy to do your lead magnets, they probably just don't have the right expertise to make the content as high level as it needs to be. It'd be like outsourcing, imagine if Alex Hormozi outsourced $100 million offers completely. The information is just going to be diluted. So it's not possible to get someone to do it for you completely. That's why we do it in a done with you program. Not because we don't want to do it for you, but because it's just not possible. Imagine we had to do this for 100 people. Imagine you had to do that much work for a client and do, that amount of hours. It just wouldn't make sense. So doing that for someone else, not a good idea. And getting someone to do it for you, again, not a good idea. Let me just cough. Pretty much everything good has a cost in life, and if you want it, you just have to pay the price in terms of the funnel. Next question is why not join a different program? And if you've watched up to this point, you can probably tell that this is likely the right choice. There's pretty much no other program, I don't think, that helps you grow to 100K, 200K, 500K, past $1 million per month, because none of actually operate an agency at that level. Not even I have operated an agency at that level. It's Matt. So to do that, you need to do the following things. So a complete funnel, irresistible offer, all the systems in place, a behavior change, and 1,000x Leads addresses all 4 of those and gives you exact plans, steps, and frameworks to follow and achieve all of those things, as well as side-by-side support from the actual founder. So this is not a CSM. That's one of the major differences. We don't have random team members that are going to do this with you. This is actually Matt. So even just getting access to Matt is usually worth the price of admission. Next, in terms of the results you can expect, so 10 core results inside 1,000x Leads, each worth the price of admission on their own. And you'll get everything you need to go from where you are to 1 million per year in take-home profit on the low end. So 1, you have a real lead generation funnel that converts cold traffic, which means you never have to rely on referrals ever again. Number 2, you have multiple revenue streams for your business, which means more stable, more scalable, and more valuable if you were to sell it one day. Number 3, you have higher margins, which means you'll be able to afford better employees, which will help you grow instead of being a burden. Number 4, you have a true employee training system, which means you'll always be able to take on more work without sacrificing quality and ruining your reputation. Number 5, you'll have an ad funnel that actually works, which means you'll be able to get as many customers as you can possibly handle. Number 6, you have a cold email system that actually works, which means you'll be able to get customers for cheap. Number 7, your content will lead to you being sought after by clients instead of the other way around, which means you can charge higher prices compared to people that are just constantly begging for deals. Number 8, you have a financial system, which means you'll always identify unnecessary expenses. You can pull up your net margin in 30 seconds and never have to worry about having enough cash to scale or becoming unprofitable, which is a true problem when you start scaling into the multi-$100,000 per months. 9, you have a truly irresistible offer, which means it's much easier to sell and you'll have an easier way to generate leads and your close rate will go through the roof. And number 10, you have a killer appointment setting, nurturing, and sales system, which means you'll book more meetings and your close rate will be higher than ever before. It sounds like a great stack of benefits, but when it actually works, it actually works. So, yeah. Next, in terms of the risks of 1,000x Leads, the risk and downsides are really nothing in comparison in regard to doing nothing. And also building the 1,000x leads system takes time and effort, but it will work better than anything you've ever tried in your life. Building the 1,000x lead system takes focus, consistency, and strong work ethic. But pretty much what that means is that your competitors don't want to build it for themselves. A lot of the time, you think, XYZ method is saturated, but if you just outwork everyone, you will beat everyone. And the reason that 1,000x leads work is because the whole goal is just to make the hard work less hard. So it's kind of objective that you need to do all this stuff. You need to run paid ads. You need to do content. It's just about making that easier for you. So we have a lot of this stuff available, but it's just like, how do you make that easier? That's what 1,000x leads is about. So building this gets you a ton of clients. Basically delivering results for all of those can be stressful, but we have an operation system that can help you streamline that. So, for example, if you were building this without the operation system, it would become much more difficult. And then also, you get so many clients that you need to hire and train new employees. That becomes a massive problem. It's time-consuming and challenging on your own, but obviously we have that training system that helps you filter, attract, hire, and onboard new employees in an automated and systematic way. And then once you have the 1,000x lead system, you'll need to operate it and manage it, which can take time, attention, effort, but we give you pre-made trainings to cover every area of the operations of the funnel, so your employees can learn what to do and handle it without you having to bend over backwards training them for yourself. So if you want this, if you think this is an interesting thing, book a call with me. I'll be able to tell you if it's going to work really, really easily. I think one of the things that is quite objective is that, yes, if you look at this funnel, it's sexy. Like it's there's no doubt about the fact that it's sexy. The question is it going to work for you? Do you need to be doing all of these things, or can you, chop and change? Can you use your current team to build some of it? How do you go about implementing it? And there's a lot of questions, and whether it's even worth it for you to implement it based on where you're currently at with your business, whether this is going to solve a problem for you rather than just essentially be a cool thing that you can just add to your stack of stuff that you have in your business. So if those are the types of questions that you want answered, just book a call. I'll be able to tell you I don't want to work with too many people that aren't a fit, or any people that aren't a fit. So book a call. I'll be able to tell you that stuff. And if you want to see who else this is worth for, go to 1000xleads.com and scroll down the page. You'll be able to see some of our clients, some of the stuff, some of the results they've been able to get. So that's pretty much all for me. This has been the best sales funnel that you can possibly build. At the bare minimum, what I would tell you is, at the very bare minimum, you need to be building this funnel. There's stuff available on my channel, on Matt's channel. It is there. You should build it. Go and build it. If you want us to help you build it, that's a different question. There's a lot of stuff available for free. So do that, or book a call. We can help you do it in a fraction of the time, fraction of the cost, but obviously that is up to you.